Welcome everybody. This is a video of the Beartooth Highway that goes between Montana and Yellowstone National Park, approaching the northeast entrance of Yellowstone Park at Cooke City. So I started this video on the heading towards Cooke City, and it's basically a southwestern direction. I'm still climbing the mountain here, so I'm not at the peak. And you can see in the distance there, in the near distance, some of the snowpack that remains in late September. This was September 2015. So we're not far at this point from the beginning of the snow season. So that snow will be there, I guess, for the next year. In this video, I tilted the camera to the right because most of the things of interest were to the right. I may have tilted a little bit too much, but in any case, it's an interesting route and great in a motorcycle and very, very scenic. One of the most scenic highways in the country. Don't think I'd want to be riding a bicycle up that. That's too much like work. At this point, and since the very beginning of the video here, we're above the tree line, and you can see there's a lot of sort of rocky rubble. I'm presuming that's sort of remnants of some glacial activity. But the rocks are on the smaller side, 1 meter or smaller, some bigger than that, of course, but not, huge boulders, but a lot of them. And it's pretty cool the way the road, you can see the road kind of winding around to the right there. And then the gorge as we're approaching it. We're still climbing. It'll be a while before we get to the top. And of course, in these sort of steeper sections, the road has a lot of those switchbacks. So, if you ever come to Yellowstone, I would definitely recommend heading towards the northeast entrance, Cooke City area, and then taking Beartooth Highway towards Red Lodge, Montana. Do it middle of the day and then head back. The Beartooth Highway is just amazing. The camera that I'm using here is mounted on top of the car on the outside, so I've had to cut the audio down because the wind noise is just ridiculous. So that's been cut down by 30-40 dB. And here we're getting another look at the gorge or chasm. And more switchbacks. Another look at the chasm and the switchbacks below. The max height here, and we're approaching it pretty soon, is over 10,000 feet. This is just about the last view of this portion of the gorge or chasm as we head over the top and then start the downward side. And this here is just about the top. From here we begin the descent on the southern and western side of the route. And again, it looks like the rock here looks to be, in my amateur opinion, the sort of glacial spoil. The way the road kind of snakes around, that's pretty cool. As I said, having the camera tilted, this is probably a little bit too much tilted to the side, but you do get a nice view of the way the road snakes around. This road does close in the winter, though. It's too high, not enough traffic to justify it, so it closes in the wintertime. And a few years back, they had a landslide that took out part of the road and closed it for, I think, a couple of months, which is a good part of the season. I hope we have some geologists in the audience, because I'm guessing that if they are watching this, this is something they might well enjoy. Beyond the views themselves, just a look at the geology must be interesting for them. It is for me. Look at the sort of rock and boulder strewn hillside here. As this route in total from Red Lodge to Cooke City is, I think like 110 miles or something like that. I'm not covering all of that in this. In fact, it's just a small portion of it. But like I said, if you come to Yellowstone, you owe yourself a day trip to Red Lodge and the trip over Beartooth Highway. Even more so if you got a motorcycle. In fact, if you're in the area on a motorcycle and you don't take the Beartooth Highway, you shouldn't be allowed to ride a motorcycle. That's my opinion anyway. The glacial runoff, these high alpine lakes are freezing cold all year long. When they're not frozen, they're frozen. I don't think they ever get much above about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. in a lot of these places in and around Yellowstone and points around it that have a very limited season because the winter closes in and closes things off. It's got to be hard to make a living, you know, when the season is 5 months, 4 months, 3 months. Got to be tough. That's some pretty cool landscape there in the foreground distance. Tough to earn a living in a place like this. Tough for the animals to earn a living in a place like this. Short summers, long, brutal winters. Probably some pretty good fishing in those lakes, though. Well, we're getting close to the end of this video, and this is the third video in my Yellowstone 2015 tour. So if you get a chance, you might want to check out some of the other videos on my channel. I got a couple of Yellowstone specifically, and many others of sort of landscape in nature, some technical in nature, and maybe give it a chance to look at that, and hopefully thumbs up and subscribe. So I appreciate you tuning in and staying to watch this, and have a nice day. Thanks for watching.